Parker. I'm pretty sure you know the rest. I saved the city, fell in love, then I saved the city again and again and again. Look, I'm a comic book, a cereal, I did a Christmas album, and a so-so popsicle. But this isn't about me. Not anymore.
Spider-Man swings.
Welcome back to Lucent Truth. This is Demetrius, Brian, and Orlando. We're going to be doing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, we're going to set this off from the beginning. The movie is a go-see. It gets 5, I repeat, 5 Lucent Bulbs.
I don't know.
We'll tell you why.
I don't know.
Hey, I hate everything, so I'm going to say...
We might have to revisit
that
here. That's supposed to be at the end, though.
They're supposed to be at the end, but I'm saying it from the beginning. So, Orlando, you the man at the end. You tell me what you think, please.
Well, let's start off with the plot.
Plot and story.
Well, the plot, okay, man, the plot. One thing about with Spider-Man, some of the Spider-Man movies I like, man, it kind of reflects a lot of real life situations. It's like you can relate to it, but the struggle is just regular life type of deal. And then at the same time, you're trying to juggle your superhero responsibilities or whatnot, and things like that. So I mean, and even in this movie, it shows that with Miles, he's a young black kid, going to school and stuff, trying to juggle everything with that, just trying to come up wise, and then just running into Spider-Man and all this, man. It's just the way how it was done, man. It's really good, man. It's like, I mean, like the whole plot, man. To me, it just felt like everything was just well planned out, man. From just every scene, down to the fights, the confrontations with people, like everything. It's like it gave it time for everybody to grow, watching stuff, grow the characters. I mean, it's taking place in New York, and just a lot of things, man, and just with the different worlds coming together and stuff like that. It's just a whole lot, man. It's really good.
Mr. McMurray.
I thought the story, it's an origin story, but it's well done. I mean, I want to say it's a typical Spider-Man origin story, but it's the character gets bit by the radioactive spider. He has to struggle with how he's going to use his powers, if he really wants the powers, that type of thing. So it's a typical Spider-Man origin story, but different. They did some different things with it, with the alternate universes and stuff like that. And that leads me to the plot. And how the story was told, I thought, was really well done. It wasn't completely original, but it was very well. It was told very well. Like,
we had this own little twist.
Yeah, I like how they began it with, the story,
and
they did it for each of the main characters. And I like how they ended it with Miles Morales, because it's basically his story, like how he becomes Spider-Man. So I thought it was really. I thought story. It isn't. I mean, there's no real truly original story, anymore. Everything's pretty much been told. So it's really how you tell it. So I thought the way they told this movie, the way they revealed the plot, I thought was really well done. It was very, very well done. So yeah.
I thought too, man. It was like, I thought the plot was going to tie in, because you played the Spider-Man game, you got Miles in there too, so I thought it was going to kind of tie in with that, but it didn't. But I mean, it still works though. It's like, they did their own thing with it, but I was kind of thinking they were going to tie it in with the video game. So what do you think, Demetrius?
I loved it. Honestly, I'll look at everything with I'm gonna hate this glasses on, but just like Brian just said, it's the same Spider-Man story, but it felt fresh. It felt like energetic. It's like somebody poured their mind, body, and soul into the movie to make you interested in the character. The number one thing I liked about it was, first, it is a young black man, and he's not for the bad side of the tracks. He's not sitting there stealing at one point in the movie, and then he's all of a sudden, I had a conscience, grew a conscience.
He has both his parents at
home. Both parents at home.
Pretty good relationship with his father.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is something more that we need. This is actually a movie you can bring your kids to, and be like, we don't all have to be criminals and thieves and come from the wrong side of the tracks and be shucking and jiving. And I was like, okay, I actually enjoyed this.
Yeah, Marvel, when it comes to showing minority characters in a positive light, I think are doing way better than some of the other Hollywood studios.
Shout out to Marvel.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm sorry, continue.
Oh, you pretty much hit it on the head. Like you're doing well by us.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Marvel for that one.
So when it comes to the plot story, what was one of your favorite plot points? Like one of your favorite story elements in the movie? You know what I'm saying?
See,
Like, what was your favorite?
I'm gonna have to say like whenever basically like whenever, it's just so many out there, man. But it's just I like how they brought everybody together. Like they introduced like the different Spider-Mans, from the different universe.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they introduced everything, the plot, like how they all came together. And it was like, okay, yeah, we're our dimensions are falling in bodies and stuff like that. So I really felt like the introduction to the characters like that was really good. And even with spoilers, with the death of the Spider-Man in Miles' universe, and then I just like the whole fact too, like how everybody was telling him, even like he lost his uncle, it's like this is something that we all go through. Like like each one of the Spider-Mans or Spider-Man, but not for an animal. It's like they went through that.
Yeah.
So it's like I like the plot, like how they showed it, how he was growing as becoming the Spider-Man and stuff like that. So
What about you?
You felt good, man?
The biggest thing I liked about it, I would have to say Aunt May in this movie.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I saw that too.
Because usually Aunt May is, they've had her, and I'm a comic kid, so I know they've had her as the damsel in distress, or they're pawning her off as somebody, or she's in danger. She was not a damsel in distress. She was like, hey, this is my house.
Yeah, when she took that
The
back.
bat and started kicking people out.
I said, take it outside.
So, like I said, it's the same story, just
Much more fresh.
yeah. Like,
And it's a good twist.
Yeah.
Good, interesting twist, man.
It's a good twist. And honestly, the Peter Parker character wasn't interesting, even though he is the main.
Well, he wasn't.
I'm talking about I'm talking about the one at the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
The blonde.
The blonde, because he's the young Spider-Man, and from what I was reading, he was tied into all the Spider-Man from the Sam Raimi's Spider-Man universe. That's why you had him doing the dancing and everything.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, and then they were trying to get Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to come back and voice their universe of Spider-Man. So it's a fresh take on many stories when you actually think about it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we got as many universes as we can. We can throw it. We have a limited palette to draw from.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, the family dynamic is what I like most about it. Like, you didn't just have Spider-Man chasing after the girl the whole movie. Because if you remember from all the other movies, he'll go to Aunt May, I'm going to the problems, and then she'll sit there and, well, you can do it.
Yeah, I really do like the fact that I would guess the main timeline Spider-Man, they got divorced.
I like that with the twist because it's like a real life feel type of deal,
I've seen some things, in other words.
But my favorite probably story point in the entire movie was the big reveal scene when he finds out that his uncle was the Prowler.
Yeah.
Because when it happened, I was like, oh shit. It got real dramatic at that point. I was like and that's another thing I really like about the movie too, is that they didn't shy away from death in the movie, even though it's somewhat of a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Because literally the Spider-Man of that universe was murdered like in the first few scenes. You know what I'm saying? Pretty harshly. I mean, he was pounded to death. I mean, they didn't show it, but they suggested it.
Yeah.
And
by who?
By Kingpin. Yeah, remember he was. And then that one reveal scene though, and we'll talk about this later, but the way it was portrayed and the fact that Kingpin kills him after he refuses not to kill his nephew, I thought that was one of the best things in the movie. It set the tone for the rest of the movie at that, in my point. up to that point, it was fun. It was entertaining. But that brought the drama. I was like, oh,
that was exciting, man. Because it's like, even though you didn't get too much of a backstory.
And it didn't really. Usually, I can figure that kind of stuff out, and I'm pretty sure people did. Oh, it's probably his uncle.
Yeah.
But I thought it was okay. Maybe this guy's been tracking Miles or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then just the fact that he finds out that it's. I was like, oh man. So that was my favorite. That was probably one of my favorite.
And even from a henchman standpoint, him as a prowler, he wasn't just some goon. Like you had Tombstone and you had the Scorpion and you had the Green Goblin. And they seemed more like goons.
Doc Ock, she was. Yeah. I thought she was the most terrifying villain.
Oh yeah.
She just one not only
her
was she
whole personality
and looked cool. Yeah, she was the most terrifying. She was more terrifying than
the Prowler.
No, not the Prowler, but Kingpin, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like she was frightening.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, like we're gonna talk about villains. Like you had the Kingpin move the movie along, you know. But yeah, like the people who were under him actually could hold their own as villains in the movie, and that's actually rare. Usually you see somebody like, okay, they look interesting, they're in the background though. But like you said, Doc Ock was.
She was remember the one scene where before you realize she's Doc Ock and she's like, she pushes Spider-Man down the chair and like, and she's like analyzing, and then at the end she was like, I'm going to enjoy watching you die. I was like, oh man,
like she's rip apart from the dimension.
Yeah, I was like, geez,
and then like I like the, even though it's typical Dr. Octopus, you know, I like the way they did her tentacles. And
I thought it was really cool.
And like wasn't just mechanical, it was like fluid.
Yeah.
So
new twist.
Does anybody have anything else to say about the plot and the story before we move on to the cinematography section?
No, it's
well done. It's a really good, well written story, well acted.
Character growth,
it's
relating to the it's all there.
It's probably the best movie of the year in my opinion.
And you're not the only person saying that, and I don't usually go by reviews for some of my close friends see it or I see it for myself. But yeah, it's probably the best movie I've seen all year, and I've seen some hot garbage. We're going to talk about cinematography, and I know I said that wrong, so leave a comment and I will blast you accordingly. So but all jokes aside, it was not a bad looking movie. We've seen CGI movies and it hurt my feelings. They look so bad. But everything about this movie fits me, down from character design to lighting to the way, even though it looked kind of like
3D.
The 3D.
Like how you look at
stop motion.
Stop motion. Yeah.
I like that though.
Even though it did look, I was like, I enjoyed this. Even when my only thing I was kind of on the fence about when it first happened is when the dimensions started colliding and when the street light changed, and I thought I was gonna hate that because I thought they did a bunch of Christmas lights all of a sudden. But when it came back to it, I was like, I like that. And like usually I'm like, oh god, another CGI movie. But from when you first meet Miles in there and they're panning around his face and it seems kind of stiff at first, but you see what they're doing. They're giving you a full view of who your hero is. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty dope. Folks, I'm just going ahead and say it. The worst film thing about this movie were the previews before the movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like,
well, that's not the movie's fault.
But that's the movie's fault, of course. But that's the worst thing I saw in the theater.
The previews? Oh, you mean the previews before? Okay.
Before the movie.
Yeah, those are pretty terrible.
Those were terrible.
Yeah, that was probably the worst part of the movie is watching the previews before the movie. But the actual movie was just fantastic. For me, when it comes to the cinematography, both of these guys know I am not a big fan of 3D animated or CGI films. I hate them actually. I can't even remember the last CGI movie I watched other than this right here. Was it Shrek? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might have been. I don't know.
Like Appleseed, stuff like that.
I don't even like that.
What?
I don't even like that. I think Appleseed looked okay, but when it comes to like anime, I want classic hand-drawn anime.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was just bitching online about the new Dragon Ball Super movie because you could tell where they have 3D sprites in some of the action sequences. I'm like, I really don't like hybrids. Either do one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Unless the hybrid is so interwoven that it almost doesn't look like it's 3D. And I know a lot of studios probably use 3D as kind of like the reference point for 2D animation now. But I guess they're just getting so lazy now, they just might as well leave 3D stuff in it. Sort of like that new Berserk series. I mean, it's like, just go ahead and animate it. I know it costs money.
Matter of fact, folks,
You think it's a time
folks,
thing sometimes?
I'm not.
It's probably a budget.
Hey, folks, I'm not gonna sit there and push something, but this is something that's been on my mind. If we can get 500 likes, I will rip the Berserk series apart from beginning to end. I hated that shit. I hated it. Not as much as I love this movie, that's how much I hated Berserk stuff. And I love Berserk.
But essentially, I don't really particularly care for 3D CGI movies. And when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I almost didn't even give it a second look. And then some of the buzz, I started hearing some of the buzz around it, so I started paying more attention to it. I'm like, this looks pretty good. And I like the fact that it looks like stop motion animation. That jerkiness, I think, just gives it more of a natural feel. You know what I'm saying? And the textures, the colors, the comic book feel to it. I even like how they have the word bubbles in certain areas in the sound effects that you would see in comics.
Just like the pan.
The visual style for this was really, really well done, and you could tell.
Start out.
Yeah, they put some time into it, which that's why I think I don't like most CG movies, because it seems like most CG movies just try to copy the style of like Pixar, Toy Story type of look, that plastic look. I hate it. I just can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? But this movie right here, it just looks fantastic. It's probably the best CGI movie I've ever seen. That's how much I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I'm saying it. Yeah, I'm like,
because when it comes, the only things that I think that are, I would even come close to it as far as CGI movies, I would say are like, what is that one thing with the dragons? It tries to look a little different sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
It's a TV show.
Train Your Dragon or something like
Train
that.
Your Dragon.
Is it DreamWorks that does it?
And that's probably I enjoy that, but How to Train Your Dragon, it's
You know,
the
it
movie
looks a little
series.
different. You know, it doesn't have that. I mean, it's
Well,
not,
the movie series
it doesn't go as far
is-
as this, but you can tell that they weren't trying to like
they-
mimic
yeah.
a Toy Story or whatever.
And that's another thing I'm gonna hit on. Like when you got this the sound bubble, like the thought bubbles and everything. That just added to more plot because it showed when the universes were colliding. Because remember the only universe that they showed that in was when Spider-Ham showed up. That's one of the universe they showed that in. That showed that they have more connection to each other. I'm like, you know what, this movie is kind of
like visually, it's very stunning, and I want to watch it again because I'm sure there's a lot that I missed the first time I watched it. But I really do like the fact that they added in the what do they call it, the Jack Kirby spots or bubbles. For like the little power scenes and stuff like that. I thought that was
with the swoop thing going down.
Yeah, it was really cool. I like the fact that they added that in there. It added to the comic book feel to it. You know, they did the same thing in some of the more recent Marvel movies, like the Thor, Ragnarok, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Man.
My favorite scene in the whole movie is when they're in the IMAX thing, and they're walking out. And I'm like, hey, it's me, Spider-Man, just grabbing a bagel.
that was funny. What do you think of the cinematography overall?
Oh man, I think it was just like y'all was saying, man, it was just amazing, man. I like a lot of things, like especially like when you was on the building and stuff like that, and like we're here jumping off of it, falling, like the whole upside down feel and the falling stuff like that, man. It really captured and gave it its own style type of deal. And even down at first, like I started noticing like it was like a red and blue thing kind of mixture. I was like, man, it's like I don't think that would like irritate me, but it actually added to it, man. It was like it just took me back to like my childhood days of looking at like some of the comics that we wear the glasses type of deal, and you will see it like that. So it just made me think of that.
What y'all think of the character designs?
Oh yeah, man, I want to say one of my favorite character designs, man. I want to have to say was what's the guy, the uncle?
Prowler.
Yeah, man.
Prowler.
Prowler.
Oh, Okay.
It's like I just love how he moves, man. It's just like
You know my favorite character design was? I have to say Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
She looked tight.
Yeah.
And I like the fact how they implemented the ballerina shoes. I thought that was so cool. I was like, see, that's different. Man.
Yeah, that's different, man.
That's different. And I just thought she looked real sleek. She had a real sleek look. But my second best probably would be Miles Morales.
Yeah, I like the whole fact. Like, he has like the compression pants and stuff like that. I mean, he had a couple of different ones.
And the whole spray paint thing.
Yes, yeah. You know, it's just a lot of things, man. Even with that.
What about you? What do you think was the?
I also have to say it's Miles, and it's not just for the way he looked. Is at the towards the end of the movie is when he became a man. He's like,
Spider-Man.
And he's like, I am this world's one and only Spider-Man. And I was like, you're damn right.
But overall, as far as
characters,
when it comes to just visuals,
I'll still give it to Miles.
Yeah.
Because usually Hollywood will try to whitewash you somehow, but you can still clearly see that this was a kid of African descent.
Yeah.
Like, you always know, let's brighten them up for the screen, we'll make it more sellable. No, this was a young, strong black man, and you can see that he was still vulnerable. He still looked to his parents for help.
Likable too.
Likable.
Yeah. You wanted to root for him.
Yeah,
for sure.
Only child.
I think you said it too when we were going home. He kind of epitomized the classic story of the hero's journey or whatever. And you can't go wrong with the classics. You can't go wrong with the classics. And this movie embodies it really well, I thought. But overall, though, I think, man, visually, when it comes to character designs, all of them were pretty great, man.
Even the boring
Doc Ock. I don't know. Kingpin.
He was like his back's all the way up.
Kingpin.
I liked it though, man.
I liked it, but it bothered me sometimes.
He was like larger than life type of deal, man.
It was a hunchback Kingpin, but
he wasn't no joke, man.
It bothered me sometimes, but I liked it. It worked for me. It worked overall.
Even the most boring character, and I would say, was Spider-Man Noir.
He was a lot of fun, man. I thought it was a lot of fun.
What about that with Miles? Like with him having like the electric and disappear and stuff like that. So I mean, that's just something like fresh and new.
No, that's something they gave. You probably just showed me don't follow the Ultimate comic books. Like they took a lot of Miles' story from Ultimate Spider-Man, and Miles, to differentiate him from Peter, he has bioelectricity and he has active camouflage. So
does he?
He's not as strong as Peter, but
Has he been incorporated into the
standard
main Marvel universe? Because Ultimate is done, right? It no longer exists.
Yeah, but he is in this main Marvel universe. And the reason why we're seeing Miles now is because after Peter died, he just took off. And mostly when people see redos of characters, they're like, But no, he's actually. People wanted to keep
I wonder how much of it was inspiration from Todd McFarlane. Remember Todd McFarlane?
Only thing I see Todd McFarlane, and I was going to hit down on that from Atlanta, is that's the only thing and it's not the character Prowler in this movie, but it's the character Prowler as a whole. He looked too much like Spawn.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I remember I saw an interview with Todd McFarlane years ago, and he was talking about when he was working on Spider-Man, he always thought it would be a cool idea if Spider-Man is doing his thing, he's saving people, he's being real heroic, and then I guess he comes up against a racist, he saves a racist or something like that. I can't remember the exact story. And then when he hears him being racist, he takes off his mask and Spider-Man is black. So I wonder how much that concept that Todd McFarlane had played into the creation of Miles Morales.
I don't know. I have never really looked that far into it, but
because I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Even though I draw a comic while I'm working on animation for Orchard Organics. Shame on him for not wearing the shirt and being late. He was like over 30 minutes late today.
You know what?
But to be fair,
he did get us some contacts.
He got us some contacts, and we might have a famous special guest in one of the next.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, make it happen, man.
Next. And y'all can take your shame.
Have cards, man. They have cards on you.
Y'all can take your shame and I can say something.
All right, cut. All right, we're going to move on to the acting, and we're going to go ahead and combine the acting, the script, and the writing in one segment to try and speed things up here. So, Demetrius, what did you think overall of the voice acting and the overall script for the movie?
My biggest problem with TV shows and movies in general lately have been, it feels like disembodied voices from whoever's talking.
Speak up just a little bit.
That sounded like a robot in the introduction.
No, I'm just saying because I can barely hear you.
Okay.
You know, I'm sitting beside you, so I'm sure the mic isn't picking.
I got quite a bit of a temper, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
But my biggest problem lately has been the fact that it sounds like when you look at something, it looks like something a disembodied voice. It's just lips moving and sound coming from somewhere else. And I did not have that problem with this movie at all. And I was like, you know, they matched up things well. As far as acting, like we said before, is, you know, you felt endeared to Miles and his family and what's going on with people around him. When Spider-Man died, you feel like, oh shit, right? That was literally an old shit movie, moment. And like, only thing I would say is, like, the weakest thing was the Kingpin. That's the only thing I would say was kind of weak, but it wasn't so like off-putting that you're like, yeah.
And to be fair, this movie wasn't really centered around him.
It wasn't. It was the main antagonist of the movie was Miles himself. Him growing up. He wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't sitting there trying to be something that he wasn't. He was just trying to be himself. And it's that time. That was the biggest antagonist of the whole movie. So as far as across the board acting, I like mostly everything. I'll give it a 99.5 of all and everything.
So what did you think about it as far as the acting, the script, the writing?
As far as the acting, script, and writing, I want to say too, like on part, you know, the comedy was on part.
It was funny. It was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the comedy, you know, they had it, man. Even down to Aunt May, even down to the roommate and stuff was going through and stuff. And I mean, just a lot, man.
I like Spider Noir. I thought he was funny. And the pig.
Yeah.
And I even liked the expressions they had on little Penny Parker's face. Yeah. She was hilarious.
Yeah. You know,
or how she'd be like in the robot and she's like eating the candy or whatever. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, man. So I mean, they did a real good job on that. Even down to like you know, just really feeling the emotions, just like you said with the acting. Even when you found out, like, you know, his uncle was the person wise. Even down to the Kingpin, you know, like he's wanting his family back and stuff, trying to fix it. You seeing that power struggle with that and all, but it's like, you know, even though you're going way over the top, you know, but I mean, it all works though. But yeah, man, it's just everything wise in there, man. Just everything's just, you know, relatable. It was able to sell me wise on that.
Just to add what Atlanta said, and a little bit earlier, you know, it showed that, you know, blood is thicker than water. That's what. And if, when you see the movie, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. When the scene between what Brian was talking about earlier, when his uncle got passed away, and a little bit earlier when his uncle's teaching him, and then the last scene between Miles and the Kingpin. So it just showed me, like, man, that, you know, it's, even though somebody can say, well, he's the black sheep of the family, you can learn something from everybody. So I was like, you know what, this movie is like, I wouldn't mind taking my mother to go see this movie.
I think the same thing. My sister don't come
exactly. I asked my mom today. I was like, Mom, have you seen Spider-Man? You know my mom. I was like, I think she would like it. I think she would really enjoy it. I have to say, when it comes to the acting and the writing and the script overall, it's really well done. I thought all of the voice actors, like you said, fit the character designs really well. Like they all seemed like they would be that person. So it
sold you up.
Yeah, it merged really well. I think also that some of the drama, like when Miles' dad comes to his room and he's like, he knocks on the door, and Miles is like, you know, wrapped up in
Spider
web, so he can't say anything. You just see the scene where he puts his head on the door, and his father puts his hand on the door. It was a lot of really good scenes in it, man, that I thought were memorable and really well done. This is a classic in my opinion. This is a classic film, and I think it's going to go down in history as probably one of the better 3D animated films, at least in my opinion. You don't know, you can't know that.
I just hands down wise on that.
I really enjoyed it, but when it comes to the overall script, though, I thought it flowed really well. There was no scene that just really bothered me that I was like, why did I have to put this in here? There was no scenes like that. All the scenes where they worked, they were just well written. There was well written scenes.
And I'm gonna go. Actually, like this, like
I will say this. There's one plot point that kind of confused me. Remember when Gwen Stacy was telling her story, and she was like, my spider sense was telling me to go to this high school. I thought that was kind of weak because she met Miles Morales before he got his powers, right?
No.
Yeah, remember?
No.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
I thought
she met him before.
She met him before in class.
But the thing that was going on too is like they were talking about some like the earthquakes, like basically that battle was going on. And like with the Kingpin trying to open the dimension, so it she was able to get in through that time wise. So it's like she was like, okay, I'm in this new world. She was looking around and stuff, and then eventually she was like, okay, yeah, my spider sense would tell me to come to the school, but at the same time,
well, why would a spider?
You know how you come into this school if he wasn't a Spider-Man yet?
You see what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. I was thinking the same time.
You know what? Usually I don't. I'm with y'all on plot points now that I think about it. Y'all all right, but who's not to say, you know?
Well, maybe Spider-Man was at the school.
And no, thing about Spider-Man's powers is a slight bit of precognition because it could have sensed that.
I'm sure, yeah, maybe, but yeah, I mean, that was one thing that was kind of throwing me off was the time frames of when,
especially like with hers, because she was like already there. How long were you there? But I know there was already fighting with that dimensional thing. But at the same time, okay, yeah, my spider sense told me to come to the school.
Yeah, but see,
they already had met.
Unless Kingpin.
When they were doing her little thing, they said that she was sent back a week before. So she was already there.
So yeah, maybe I missed the plot point. So what? They said what now?
They said she was sent back. She was sent a week before. When she got sent to his dimension, she said.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I guess when they come through the dimension, they're coming in at different times. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because I was like, how does that work out? Because they all came. Because remember when
the other ones, they started coming, started blasting. And
yeah.
I was here. I was in my world, but it wasn't my world.
Thank you, Alandria. No, I was not paying attention, but that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Maybe because you got to think it's not just dimensions; it's also playing with time. Because Peter Parker in the regular Marvel universe is in his mid-30s, right? The Peter Parker in that universe is in his 20s. He's a grad student. And then Penny Parker is from like the 31st century from her dimension, right? So yeah, that makes sense.
Spider-Man Noir was from like the 20s.
The 20s, yeah. So that makes more sense. So they're coming from not just different dimensions, from also different times. All right, thank you, Alandria, for expounding on that for us and explaining. Because that kind of threw me off. I was like, oh, wait. How does it? Because I thought maybe they all came at the same time.
Yeah. You know, I remember seeing that part where she was coming at a different time. My thing was like, okay, how do you know to go to the school?
How do you go to the school?
And the spider sense, but he wasn't Spider-Man.
Yeah. I guess that would make sense though, because if she comes in at a different time, and certain things are destined to happen. And like you said, if he has a little bit of some aspect of precog abilities, then it would make sense.
Okay,
yeah. But it threw me off a little bit. Yeah. It kind of made me wonder a little bit. But overall, man, the story was just awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
It was just so well done.
Yep.
So well written. You know. So.
And you know, we can't even give Marvel credit for this.
Why not?
Because it's a Sony movie.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Sony did this.
But it says that it was in
this was Marvel.
Well, Marvel, they'll put Marvel. It was a Marvel character.
I don't know what team they put together to get it done.
But they need to keep that team together.
Apparently, Sanford Green was
Sam Raimi.
Sanford Green, the guy you just met.
Oh yeah,
the comic artist from Columbia, South Carolina.
He
said he did the storyboards, right?
He did storyboards and character design.
You did a hell of a job. Good job. I mean, shit. Yeah. I mean, it was just well done. It was just well done. And storyboarding that adds in with the pacing of the
movie.
Yeah,
it's gonna do that blueprint.
Yeah. So it was well done. Very well done. Good job. thoughts. So, Mr. Orlando King, what did you think of the overall musical score? And we'll come back to the final thoughts after you. We'll go through the musical score first, and then we'll come back to the final thoughts.
All right, yeah, definitely the music was on point, man. I like the whole the score actually, and plus like even just the music in it. You know, it's got like that, you know, the hip hop type of feel to it, and it works, man. But I gotta say, man, like for the sound design and stuff, on point. And I want to say this, my favorite sound design is when dude be moving the prowler. It's like you getting the ideas from my character, man. But it's just you know, just when he moved, man, it was just on there, and it was just well done. And yeah, I mean, and it's like even with it's like I know the music helps with it. It's just everything was just flowing with it, man. Even down to that, even down to just the regular score of it, man. Even when you start swinging, it goes into that. When they get into action, you really feel it, man. So I mean, they did an awesome job with it, man. Matching everything up with it, finding the right, you know, tone, feeling, building up to it, man. It was just awesome, man. And then even with the hip hop type elements, I felt like it came in at the right time.
Right time, yeah.
And stuff. It wasn't just playing just to play type of deal.
Pander to it.
Yeah. Like when I was in this room listening to one song come on. I know Landry, I know you know that.
Who was that artist? It's a white boy, right? The R&B white guy that he was singing.
When I was in this room listening.
I don't know that song yet.
I think.
Yep, that's him.
Post Malone.
Post Malone, that was him, right?
Yeah.
He's white, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. So, I mean, yeah, it's just, you know, they had everything come in at the right time for it. It wasn't just, okay, let's just put it in. Nah, it was like well thought out, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And even the time with the one joint, What's Up Danger? Like when he was like getting ready for Wise, he just get you amped, man. Like he knows, man, that's coming up there, you know, but it's well done, man. Just well done on it, though. I really feel like it flowed. What you think?
What you think, Demetrius?
As a hip hop head, the way they put Big in there, I was like,
a little nod to him,
because it shows you one of the biggest things in any Spider-Man. I don't care which one is Spider-Man's connection to New York, and it showed you that he had a connection to that piece of New York because most of that music was from the Brooklyn area, and that as far as when there's time to get down, like you understood when that sound background sound hit, you're like let's pay attention a little bit more here.
Yeah.
So it's not. This soundtrack was good. As far as when the overall sound, I'm not gonna go sit there and go on each aspect. Like I said from the beginning of this, from the beginning, I liked everything. There was nothing I was sitting there like, man, please get to the next scene.
Yeah. I have to say that we talked about this before in other podcasts when they have kind of like an ethnic or a movie that they're targeting minorities with, and I think this movie it targets a larger. The target audience is larger than just African Americans, but obviously one of the main target audiences was African Americans for this movie. And when we talk in this, and we've spoken in this podcast before about how when they do that, they pander to us too much when they use the hip hop music. Like you said, they use hip hop at the right times in this movie. It wasn't like, okay, we know African Americans are going to be watching this, so let's put random hip hop music in random places. It was specific, and they balanced it well with, I would say, more classical musical scores. Because one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, I've spoken about it before, is when the reveal scene when Prowler is revealed to be his uncle. When Miles Morales figures that out, that music board, I was like, whoa. Like it really set the mood. I'm like, holy crap.
It's like make you think like, damn, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
He's on like, nah, he was like,
it was so well done, dude. It was so well done. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie because of the music alone. You know what I'm saying? It was just phenomenal. You know, but I thought it was well balanced. There was some memorable parts in it because of the music, I thought. And overall, man, it was just like Demetrius said. This was just almost a flawless movie. You know, so we're gonna go to the reviews, and as you don't know, this is your first time watching the Lucent Truth. We have a five rating system, and instead of stars, we give Lucent Bulbs. So Orlando, out of 5 bulbs, what do you give Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Man, it's hard, man. I don't even see how I can just rate this thing on a 5, man. I even said that coming out the movie, even before we even coming in, man. That's
matter of fact, for a change pace, you rate it how you feel today.
Bullshit.
I'm gonna rate it. I do what I please.
Only get 5.
Yeah.
And maybe I will.
There are so many numbers.
Maybe we can give. Maybe we can give like an additional cosmic Lucent Bulb or something for exceptional works.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But you still only get 5 with an additional cosmic bulb. Yeah. And that's just for being exceptional.
So, I mean, so definitely 5. Definitely 5 on that.
Do you think it's worth a 6 cosmic Lucent Bulb?
Man, I think
do you think it is that good?
It's that good, man. I'm thinking I need to see it again. I mean, I'm honestly upset. Like, dang, man, it's like I gotta wait for this thing to come out now. You know? But
I have to go back and do a graphic for
yeah, man.
The 6 cosmic bulb or whatever.
Yeah, that has a comic just.
Yeah, that was cool.
But yeah, man, I'm a 5, man. Like I said, man. I mean, I know there's no perfect thing, man, but I'm still searching to even find something that's.
The only thing I can think of was that plot point where it confused me, but I think I was just confused. I don't think it was. I don't think it was a flaw in the story.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just
Gwen Stacy.
It's just like I was saying, man. It's to me, it's like the perfect, like reference to like the hero's journey. Mm-hmm. I mean, just everything. Even look like with the writing and everything. Yeah. Even now with the cinematography, perfect music, perfect. I mean, it's flawless, man. I can't. You know, I think it's like the second movie. I can't remember what the first one it was, but I think I did give another movie a 5. I can't remember what it was.
Orlando.
But I think it's gonna be the first one.
Orlando Valerian. In the City of 1,000 Planets?
I think I gave it a 4.
Oh,
4.5.
I know it was really high.
4, yeah, 4.5. It wasn't no 5.
Orlando? So you give it a
I get from the 5th floor? Yeah, definitely a 5, man. Flawless victory, man. That's all I got to say.
I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna go ahead and give it that 6th call.
Dang, the 6 calls.
I like it that much. I thought it was that good. Yeah, it's literally the best movie of the year. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the best movies I've seen in my life. I mean, it's just that well done, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm not even a Spider-Man fan, to tell you the truth. A lot of people like Spider-Man, but he's never been one of my favorites. I like him.
I like the twist that he put on. Yeah, and with the different technology we got now that we can showcase his ability wise. Because looking at the old stuff and all, I mean, that's what the technology they had to work with. But seeing how things, grew, even with Stan Lee, I was saying that too. That he got to see Spider-Man, actually be on the live screen like this, and I mean, I really think it's well done, even down to even in the video games. I know it's not about this movie though, but even seeing that transfer from how they first came out wise and stuff, and also. But
so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6. Good. That 6 cosmic bomb.
See ya.
My only thing is too, but it's like I kind of would like for the game and the movie to kind of merge or something, have a little thing.
I thought the game came out before this.
It did, but it's like even though it had like the same character, Miles was in it, you were playing along with him and his father, but in the video game, his father gets killed. Oh gosh, I remember it for you.
I got 97%.
Okay. Well, hope it didn't ruin it for anybody else out there. But like I said, I like the fact that it went on to its own thing, and it also just like having all the characters. It's like not just one person got this screen time. It was like very just how they do like in Marvel, like Avengers. You know what I'm saying? The way how they got everything divided out wise, man. And I just like to everybody's working together wise, ain't nobody just want to go off and do one little thing. Type of they all trying to get back home, everything back right. So, yeah, man, it's flawless. Which thing?
I hated it.
Oh yeah, I bet you did.
And
you slept through it too and all.
I'm gonna go back to the movie theater today and ask for my money back. Oh, it was honestly a waste of 2 hours of life.
I didn't know it was that long. It was actually pretty long.
I was glad it's that good.
I was glad it was there. I was like, yeah, man,
it was a waste of 2 hours of life.
But what's your rating?
But all jokes aside, y'all got my rating from the beginning. I honestly, I'm one of the toughest critics we have here. If I don't like something, I don't like it. And if I like it, it gets filthy! And it gets one more cosmic, bro.
Oh, cosmic. Don't forget my coffee.
Yeah, so that's pretty much going to do it. Just go watch it. It's worth seeing.
And
definitely
take your family.
And I know we hit on a lot of race stuff, but it's honestly an inspiration for people, our people, because we, like I said earlier in the podcast, we see ourselves shucking and jiving in this 2018. And I gotta hit on this. When he was in school and trying to fail out, the teacher did not let him fail out.
Yeah.
He was like, no, you know what? You have to honestly try to get a 0. And she passed him anyway. So I was like, you know what? Go take your kids, take your grandma. This is a perfect holiday movie. You know, there's no Santa Claus. There's nobody bringing things out of the chimney. I didn't see one present in the whole movie. But as overall inspiration for family togetherness, I will give this movie. Can we do it together?
The cause.
And
the one cosmic.
Okay, see ya.